A very good morning and welcome to Today in Parliament. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are today's headlines. Discussion on alleged banking irregularities in both houses of Parliament today. Rajiv Chandrasekhar to initiate short duration discussion in Rajya Sabha. Discussion under Rule 193 that does not entail voting in Lok Sabha. Reports of department-related parliamentary standing committees on energy to be tabled in Rajya Sabha. A. Navneet Krishnan to raise the discussion on working of drinking water and sanitation ministry. Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill for consideration and passage in Rajya Sabha. Bill seeks to bring radical changes in 30-year-old law and proposes high penalties for various traffic offences. And Finance Minister Arun Jaitley to move State Bank's Repeal and Amendment Bill 2017 in Rajya Sabha. Bill seeks to repeal 2 existing acts and amend one. The top focus today in Parliament, discussions are slated in both houses on alleged banking irregularities. Day 2 of the second part of the session on Tuesday saw multiple adjournments in both houses after opposition parties disrupted proceedings over the PNB fraud case, among other issues. In Rajya Sabha today, a short duration discussion is slated to be on reported scams in some public sector banks and the failure of the banking regulators to check them. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Naresh Gujral, Anil Desai, Harivansh, Rupa Ganguly and R.K. Sinha will be taking part in that discussion. In the Lok Sabha, discussion on irregularities in the banking sector also slated for today. The discussion is slated to be raised by N.K. Premchandran of the Revolutionary Socialist Party and K.C. Venugopal of the Congress. The leaders will raise the issue of alleged systemic irregularities in the sector over the years and its impact on the Indian economy. The discussion will be held under Rule 193 that does not entail voting. Well, our senior correspondent, Vineet Dixit, in fact, joining us from outside Parliament, from the Parliament premises. In fact, Vineet, a very good morning. Do we see something change today as far as the previous 2 days are concerned, considering the fact that we are going to be seeing that short duration discussion in Rajya Sabha on the alleged banking irregularities?
Well, Tracy, the government has taken a step ahead by organizing a short duration discussion. All these members of parliament, Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Mr. Anand Desai, Ms. Rupa Ganguly, they all belong to NDA. Now, what has happened is the NDA Combine has gone ahead and taken a step ahead to organize this debate, to list this debate today in Rajya Sabha, waiting for the opposition to join them. That is the step, a very positive step the government has taken. Let's see if the discussions do take place. It's a short duration discussion. It's normally held for half an hour, but depending on the number of speakers, these discussions may go on for 1 hour or 2 hours, depending on the number of the speakers as well as the gravity of the situation in the House. Now, there is another discussion which is listed. It's on the Kaveri water issue. The Navneet Krishnan, the senior MP, has moved on the accord, the Kaveri Accord, dispute between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. So let's see if both the discussions take place, if the House has that capacity to hold on these discussions. Too many things are happening outside the House.
Yes.
We didn't see much any legislative business being transacted in the first 2 days. Let's see what happens on the third day today, after the Parliament has been reassembled after the recess. Tracy?
Absolutely. And talking about Lok Sabha, the discussion, of course, was slated yesterday as well under Rule 193. So if we look at it, even yesterday the discussion could have been possible, but because of course, the kind of disruptions that we saw, a lot of it, of course, on the Andhra issue as well. Do we see any change in the situation in the lower house today?
Let's see. There are too many ifs and buts. The 193 resolution, the discussion under the Rule 193 in Lok Sabha, it does not entail a voting after the discussion. It's not a censure motion which the government has admitted, but nonetheless, banking regulations and the scam related to the banking, it has been listed in Lok Sabha. It was listed yesterday also and today also. So let's see if the House has some resemblance of the order, and if both the houses function normally, only then these discussions should take place and will take place.
Absolutely.
Tracy?
All right, we'll leave it there, Vineet Dixit. Thank you so much for joining us. It is important, of course, for the House, the business of the House to proceed, considering that they have only about over 20 days, or about 22 to 23 days of working days left in this particular session. Meanwhile, in Rajya Sabha, let's take you through what we can expect. AIDMK MP Navneeta Krishnan will initiate that discussion on drinking water and sanitation ministry today, and members will put forth their views on the functioning of the ministry during the debate. At the end of the debate, Union Minister Uma Bharti will be giving a reply. Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari will move the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2017 in the upper house. The bill amends the Motor Vehicles Act 1988 to address issues such as third-party insurance, regulation of taxi aggregators and road safety. The bill is important due to radical changes in the law, which is as old as 30 years. It proposes high penalties for various traffic offences, 3-year jail for parents of minors drivers causing fatal accidents, and a 10-fold increase in compensation to families of accident victims. Now, for deaths in hit-and-run cases, the bill proposes for the government to provide a compensation of 2 lakh rupees or more to the victim's family. Currently, the amount is just 25,000 rupees. The minimum fine for drunk driving has also been increased from 2,000 to 10,000 rupees in the bill. And Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will move the State Bank's Repeal and Amendment Bill 2017 in Rajya Sabha. The bill seeks to repeal the State Bank of India Subsidiary Banks Act 1959, the State Bank of Hyderabad Act 1956, and amend the State Bank of India Act 1955. It also aims to make rational use of resources made available by the merger of these banks, leading to a reduction in costs and increase in bank profits. Lok Sabha has already passed the bill. And in the lower house's list of business today are 2 bills. Santosh Kumar Gangwar will move the Payment of Gratuity Amendment Bill 2017. The bill seeks to further amend the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. Ravi Shankar Prasad will be moving the Specific Relief Amendment Bill 2017. The bill seeks to further amend the Specific Relief Act 1963. And in Lok Sabha today, there will be also a discussion on the demands for grants for railways for 2018-19. A voting will also take place following the discussion on the demands for grants. Several cut motions in which members oppose any demand made in the demands for grants will also be moved. Back in Rajya Sabha, reports of a department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Energy will be tabled. Shamsher Singh Manhas and Viplav Thakur will lay the reports in the upper house. And Rajya Sabha will pay obituary references today. Obituary reference will be paid to the passing away of former member of Rajya Sabha, Dr. Jinendra Kumar today. Chairman Venkaiah Naidu will inform the House about the demise. Few moments of silence will be observed for the late member. And the following questions will be raised in Rajya Sabha. Vivek Gupta will ask the Minister of Home Affairs the details of steps taken by the government on the recommendations of the report number 267 of the Law Commission of India with regard to amending the IPC and CRPC for incorporating provisions to define and curb hate speech. Santhius Kujur's question will also be to the Minister of Home Affairs whether government is aware of the recent ongoing unrest in Barak Valley in Assam caused by various groups. Neeraj Shekhar's question will be to the Minister of Labour and Employment. He will ask whether, as per the recent report of International Labour Organization, unemployment in India is likely to increase in 2018-19. Sanjay Singh's question will be to the Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas. He will ask whether the government proposes to merge all public sector oil companies into a single entity. And V. Maitreyan's question will be to the Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas as well. He will ask whether the government has inked any new MOU to own 10% of oil wells in Abu Dhabi. That's all we have for you in Today in Parliament. After a short break, do stand by for Parliament proceedings.